What a bummer. This is the only way to put it about Jayson Tatum. The guy was having one of the greatest basketball nights one can have in Madison Square Garden for a defending NBA champ. Just a superb evening. And then we saw what happened. Best you can tell, is this an Achilles injury, Howard?
I mean, that's obviously the first thing going through all of our heads as you're watching this. If you've watched basketball for any length of time, and if you've ever seen a guy go down with a non-contact injury and immediately holding that part of their leg, and then the emotion that overcame him immediately, you could just see, like, he knew whatever it is. Jayson Tatum is pretty sure it's a terrible, devastating injury because the emotions, as well as his pain, telegraph that immediately. So you hope against hope. You hope that it's not an Achilles. And you hope that Jayson Tatum will be back on a court before too long, although it doesn't seem likely until at least next season at the earliest. So that's all just awful. It's terrible for the Celtics, clearly, and for their title defense. And it's devastating more than anything for Jayson Tatum personally and for his career. And yeah, I mean, Rich, you said it, like, the guy was having an incredible night. I mean, we all talk about this. We rhapsodize about Madison Square Garden, and like, there's just no better place to have a career defining game or just a spectacular night, period. And in the playoffs and with your team down and you're trying to rally them. And, you know, the story was being written, you know, like the script was being written for this phenomenal comeback where Tatum can tie up the series and Celtics can tie up the series, get back in this thing, maybe beat the Knicks in the series and go try to defend their championship. And right now that's looking rather bleak.
Well, in terms of the long-term future, assuming this is something so significant, Howard, what are the Celtics looking at in this offseason? There was already word that, you know, with second aprons and things like that, that there were some big names that were going to get moved off this team anyway. What does this mean, do you think, for the Celtics?
So my friend Bobby Marks over at ESPN, obviously the guru of all things salary cap and second aprons, first aprons, other various kitchen attire. Bobby has noted for some time here that they were looking at probably like a $500 million payroll and tax combination for next season. And of course, this is happening while they're also going through an ownership change. And while Wick Grossbeck's group has always been willing to spend whatever it took in luxury taxes to keep this thing going, it's not clear whether the new ownership group, which has not yet been approved officially, will do the same. So there's that piece of it. If you win a championship, if you go back to back, you know, the pressure's on you as ownership to keep everything together no matter what it costs you. But in today's NBA, it's also not just about whether you're willing to keep writing checks for tens of millions or hundreds of millions of extra dollars. It's also about these aprons, and these aprons take away your ability to continue to build your roster or to replace players if they're lost to injury, for instance. And it makes it very, very difficult to sustain your roster. So the Celtics, with or without Tatum being injured, and with or without a championship in June, we're already going to be in a really difficult position. And I think that this complicates it that much further.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.